It is Ross to Boss time. Thanks to Jim Beam, Ross. I'm excited about this one. We all are. Richmond and Collingwood, in my opinion, the two best sides in it, and there is just one day to go. And just on the Richmond Footy Club, we're having a meeting, and Ed made the point about when is the last time Richmond actually lost a game, and we're actually 2 days shy. I know we've missed a lot of football in this break, but 13 in a row since they've been defeated, and it obviously was way back when they had a lot of injuries, and since then 13 wins, no losses and a premiership, and they front up against the Magpies tomorrow night.
Powerhouse of the competition.
Yeah.
This is a legitimate blockbuster. It's great to restart the season. We couldn't ask for anything more. And we're going to pull it apart now and have a look at their strengths and weaknesses.
We are, Ross, and know what great sides do. They put you on your backside nice and early, and that's what you think both sides do, Collingwood and Richmond.
Yeah, well, they're great, and the numbers back that up. We talk about first quarter starts, and the best teams start well and win. Both of them win 2 out of every 3 first quarters they play, and if you win the first quarter, you tend to go on and win the game. It's about 70% correlation. So, and that rang true in round 1. If you look at Collingwood versus the Bulldogs, they smacked them early, 5 goals to 1, and Richmond really got hold of Carlton, 7 goals to 2. Yeah. And if we go to the last time they played, it's really insightful. If you look at the score, first quarter, Richmond kicked 5 goals 4 to 1 goal 2, and that's basically what they went on to win the game by. So both teams will be aware of this. This is no secret. So it will be a firecracker start. Both teams will be focused, even more so because there's no crowd. We heard players during the week talk about when there's no crowd and teams are scoring, it really deflates you as an opposition. So it's an added contingency.
Yeah, this was round 19 last year, Ross, and look at the scoreboard there. They got out to a 50-point lead, the Tigers. By half-time was game over.
Yeah, they're a powerhouse. Yeah. And we've had a look at the teams early teams being released. And when I looked at them, they're very even and statistically, but really Lynch and Riewoldt separate them in the front half.
Tell us about the differing game styles, Ross, of the two teams.
Yeah, well, really simply, and there's been a bit of noise around this contested ball. We all value it. I did as a coach. But Richmond have gone down the Hawthorn path. They do it a different way. So Collingwood, strong contested ball team, ranked 3rd in the competition over a year. Surprisingly, Richmond's 16th. And I describe them, they are hard and ferocious. They'll go when they need to, but they don't put everything into winning the contested ball. They'll beat you on the outside, both offensively and defensively with smart setup. When they win the ball, it's really distinct difference. Collingwood, more possessions than anyone else in the league. They like to win the ball and then control it through short kicks and uncontested marks, and that will keep Richmond's fanatical pressure off them. So if you're taking marks, you control the ball. Richmond are the opposite. They love to go quick, take ground, put you under pressure.
Yeah. Ross, I love this bit of vision that you got from the Pies in round 1, just the way they have a measured build-up before going long.
Well, here it is. They'll just work the ball up, uncontested marks, zoning teams. You give them 10 metres, they'll take it. They want to make you defend. Centre forward, then they'll go into equal numbers. Not dissimilar to Richmond in that part of the ground, and kick a crumbing goal. That's a signature play. They like to control the ball and go slow. The problem with that is, against a great defensive team that Richmond are, Richmond will set up. And if you think back to the prelim that they won, it took 8 contested marks from
Mason Cox.
Yeah, Mason Cox to mark the ball. I'm not sure they got that weaponry or that was a bit freaky. So Richmond was saying, you can chip it, but when you go in, we're going to be organised and we're going to roll off and we're going to kill the ball.
Everyone knows how the Tigers play, Ross, but how do you actually try and take them on? This is the way they play. So Casbolt's hacked the ball in.
Well, there it is. Mark in defence, switch the ball and go. And there's a couple of really good lessons in this clip.
Just on this too, Ross, this is a half-forward flanker that gets up high and their work rate's massive, isn't it?
If we stop the clip there, so that's Prestia circled, B&F in a premiership year, and you're about to see why he is, and that's Petrevski-Seaton, young player still developing his work rate. You can just see there, they don't chip around. We saw Collingwood chip it around. They'll go to their key forwards a contest that they clear away from. They'll create space at the back, and you watch the run and the work rate of Prestia here. They isolate their key forwards. There goes Prestia front and square. There he is, picking up the ball, and they go out into the paddock, and away they go. This is just too easy. So it's slow, it's set up. Really, Collingwood are going to have to get across and support and match the work rate of Prestia and Cotchin and Martin and those guys.
We all know how good Richmond are at the stoppages, but also Collingwood were very impressive in round 1, and the go-e goal here highlights that, Ross.
Well, they're number 1 forward 50 stoppages, and Grundy, unbelievable round 1. They're the best in the competition, but they're going to have to capitalise on that. They'd like to get 2 to 3 goals out of that area. And centre square bounces where Collingwood, when Richmond do struggle, teams score against them out of the middle. So Grundy's going to be pivotal. But you can see there, Collingwood, really strong stoppage team, score more than their opposition on a consistent basis when they win. But Richmond, score from turnover is the game. They defend and attack off score turnover than anyone in the competition, plus 27.
Yeah.
So their ball use should see them come out in the top, and their ability to defend Collingwood's slower ball movement.
There's not many matchups I'd actually go to pay and watch, but there's one on tomorrow night I'll go and pay and watch. Is that Dylan Grimes? And I hope he goes to Jordan De Goey. So Jordan De Goey, hopefully plays inside forward 50, and it's just going to be absolutely sensational.
What do you see there? The ball going in.
Long and
Clubs
high.
call it, dirty ball. So that's Richmond pressure. It makes Grimes a better player than he may be otherwise, even though he's a great player. So, but De Goey, he's a handful. He's explosive. You give him half a look, he'll be scoring. So it's mouth-watering, really. It's just great that it's back.
And we heard how Braden Maynard has not allowed Rioli to score a goal the last 4 times they met, but I'd send him to Dustin Martin because when Martin's inside forward 50, he had 38 disposals. I know not around the ground, but he also kicked 3 to 4 goals the last time they met. I think Maynard would be a great matchup for him. What do you think, Ross?
Well, he's hard because he comes out of the midfield. Collingwood defence are going to have to hand over, get organised if they get Maynard to him.
Yeah.
But, sometimes you've got to stand up and get the job done. Maynard's really developing, but if you can grab hold of Dusty, well, you really go to another level.
And Ross, you've looked at the lines. Who are the key players from each line at each club?
And it's hard to exclude a few, but really simply, if you go to Collingwood, lines, if you go to Collingwood's back 6, Jeremy Howe is the standout roll-off player. Yeah. If the ball comes in high, Richmond have to work hard to bring the ball to ground and make him accountable. Sidebottom him in the midfield. I know we talk about Pendlebury and De Goey going through there, but in the last grand final they played, West Coast tagged him out of the game and they win by a kick. If he gets to his best, they win that game. So I think Richmond will put some work into him because he accumulates at runs, racks them up. And De Goey, we all know, midfield explosive, does the freakish thing. So we're all looking forward to that. Collingwood, they're going to have to deal with the work rate of Richmond's back 6. Yeah. As much as we spoke about Grimes, it is really their capacity to run and outwork the opposition forwards to the line of the ball. If you can't do that, you can't beat them. And so with Darcy Cameron coming in, I know the height, that concerns me a little bit because those guys run and work harder than any back 6 in the AFL. The Martin-Lambert combination where Lambert comes up out of the forward line and Martin goes forward, that you showed before. If Collingwood can't stay organised against that and sort that out, they're going to be in a bit of trouble. And then just forward, Jack Rewalt, I've seen him stand up grand final day. He's become a special leader of that football club and does the little things well and organises that front 6. So they're going to have to deal with him as well.
And before we finish it, I just wanted to show Darcy Cameron. I'm really pleased for Darcy that he's playing. And what I love about Cameron, and we saw it in the pre-season competition, is he's a beautiful kick for goal. So there's a lot of big, gangly ruckmen who don't actually score a goal for the whole season, or they don't win much of the ball, but I really like what I saw from him in the pre-season, and if he can go forward, he can hit the scoreboard hard, which is so valuable for a ruckman.
Well, you saw the way they build the ball up and get equal numbers, and they'll go in long. So he's got a critical role. Yeah. He needs to bring the ball to ground or mark it, or Collingwood will struggle.
Good on you, boys. That was fantastic. Really enjoyed that. Caro, how are you feeling about it now?
Tigers by 10, Ed.
Is that 10 goals or 10 points?
Points.
Okay.
Tigers by 10, Ed.
Pies by 10, Ed.
Good boy.
Yeah.
I've always thought you're a good judge. I don't know why I had to go at you before, Lordy. You're a very smart man.
And you, Ed?
Caro, fingers crossed, but we'll go for the Pies, obviously.